Well, I'm gonna make another one here. I just happened while I was resting. I happened to remember I had I had one more fight in my life. I know I was telling you people probably think it's all a bunch of hurry, but it's all true. Well, I was in the Marine Corps. I got into a fight, and it's the last one I ever had. I don't ever remember having, because it may not be the last one I ever had, because I've give real names in this thing. I ain't kidding you. I mean, the people I had fights with and all the things that I've done and all that. I just actually told you the name of the people that I did it with. Now, I figure some of these people, if they're still alive, might take exception to that, and they probably want to come out and whoop up on me. Well, that's okay. You know, I'm telling the truth. I did what I did. If they don't like it and they're still alive and they want to fight, well, just look me up. I can't I can't stand up. I'd have to hold one hand on my stroller thing here that I walk with. But heck, fire, I'm still ready to. If they want a second chance at me, well, come on. I ain't got nothing to lose, and I ain't told no lies. I whooped the devil out of them duds. But this last fight I had, the reason I'm gonna tell you that was my last one. I got caught. I got taught a lesson, boy. Let me tell you. I didn't lose it, but I didn't win it. And actually, I kind of think maybe if I had to weigh whether I won or I lost, I'd have to kind of think maybe just a little bit on the lost side, because I'm the one that started that fight, and it's the only and first fight that I'd ever started in my whole life. But and there was another unfortunate thing about that. I was fighting somebody over something he'd done that this person had done to some people that's friends of mine. So he didn't actually do anything to me. He did it to some friends. And boy, that taught me a lesson. I ain't never, if my friends don't want to take up for themselves, I ain't, boy, that was whew, I got a broken nose on the count of that. That dude that I got to fight with, he broke my nose, man. Wow, it's kind of a strange thing. I was in the Marine Corps out there on that base in California, there on the Yerba Buena Island between Oakland and San Francisco. And let me tell you, it's Christmas. It was Christmas Eve night, and then the couple, two or three friends. I think it was three of them. Three. I could tell you their names. One, I don't know all their full names. I remember the tallest of the three. I had three Marine friends. All three of them were in that school. They weren't guards on that base. They were in school. They weren't in my class, but they was in other classes there. They had a bunch of classes in electronic schools. But anyway, these three friends of mine, they were Stomner, Caddy, and York. I remember their names. I don't know. The two of them ain't alive, because wait till I get through with this thing and I'll tell you about what happened to Stomner and York. But any rate, it was Christmas Eve night, and these guys wanted to go into San Francisco and do a little partying, drink a few beers and whatever, but I didn't have no money. I was sending most of my money home to my wife and everything, so I couldn't go. But they went ahead and went. It was early in the afternoon. I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess since it was Christmas Eve night, we probably didn't have school, but they went to San Francisco wrong. I don't know what time they left. If I said a time, it would just be a guess on my part. But anyway, they went to San Francisco on Christmas Eve, and gosh almighty, I couldn't go, and I went to base, and I spent time messing around the base, and I made a statement earlier on some of these things that I had never read but about 5 books up until I was 8, and I got to thinking that wasn't exactly true. I'd forgotten about the fact that I used to read a book or two by Mickey Spillane. He was these were these little paperback books, and they were whodunit type books, from Mickey Spillane. I think, I'm not sure, but I'm remembering way back. But I think he was a private eye, and they had a bunch of little books out of him. I read one or two of them. I think I can't remember. Anyway, I can't remember what I did during the day, but I was asleep. I was sleeping at night, went to sleep. I don't know, around 11, 12 o'clock at night. Those three friends of mine, old Caddy and Stomner and York, they all came back from San Francisco. And they all knew where I bunked out. Everybody knew where everybody slept, and I knew where they did, and they knew where I did. Anyway, I happened to sleep next to the outside wall, and they got right next to the outside wall, and they started singing Christmas carols as they were drunk, and oh Lordy, and finally they shut up, and they finally shut up and went on and went to bed. Well, oh Lordy, they got run up. There was a corporal that in the Marine Corps. I don't know whether he was in school there or what whether he was a guard or what. I don't know what I didn't know him. I never said. Don't even remember his name. But anyway, I was a couple of days later. They run this Stomner and Caddy and York up. I don't know. They got some kind of a court martial. I don't know. It wasn't a court martial. They didn't kick them out of the service. They got a name for what they got, but Lord of mercy, I can't remember what it was. It was just slap on the wrist, and they got restricted to the base or something. I don't know. For making all that racket out there on Christmas Eve night. And I don't know why anybody would get mad at somebody for singing Christmas carols and stuff. They would just have three Marines trying to have a little fun on Christmas night and sing some songs to a friend of theirs who was me. And anyway, I don't know. It was 3 or 4 days later. Pardon me just a minute. 3 or 4 days later, I was laying in the bunk, and it was kind of late at night, and this Marine corporal who had run them up and got them, oh God, I can't think of what it was they got. Anyway, they got restricted to the base, and I don't know, they had to do something, pick up cigarette butts or something, I don't know. But anyway, he was up here. I was about 4 or 5 bunks away from the middle of the barracks, and there was a big table right at the middle of the barracks where people played pinochle and cards and things. And this Marine corporal, he was up there bragging about how he had run the 3 Marines up that was out there making noise late at night and stuff. And he's loudmouth, one of those loudmouth type boisterous pieces of junk that you run into in the world. Anyway, I stood there and listened to it for about 15, 20 minutes. And I got up out of bed and I walked up there, and I challenged him to come outside, that I was going to whoop his behind, for spouting off about my friends, But he said he was one of them arrogant, smart aleck type of guys. Oh my goodness, oh God, he just jumped up, boy, and he was a Marine. There was sailors all over. There was 4 or 5 sailors up there around that bench, and just he was the only Marine there. That for some reason they liked him. I don't know why. People, smart aleck and arrogant folks, just everybody seems to crowd around them all the time, But anyway, I'm just kind of a lowly old person. And then anyway, what he did was he says, I'll tell you what, he says, we'll let's go over to the gym and we'll fight in the ring with speed gloves. Well, I didn't even know they had a ring, a boxing ring on the base and everything. But anyway, I said, you bet. And I went over there. Of course, he showed up 3 or 4 different people helping him out. They second, thirds, or fourths, or whatever you call them. And anyway, I didn't have anybody with me. I was sitting over in the corner of that ring by myself, and we put some little gloves on. They call them speed gloves, and they're boxing people, I guess, do. Anyway, we started fighting, and we were beating the devil out of each other. And man, he broke my nose, and and I busted his. I think I must have done something pretty bad to him, because after about they even had rounds. Boy, this some guy over there was banging a bell, all this good stuff. I'd never been in one like that before. But anyway, this dude, he come out, and when I would try to fight him, he would grab me and beat me with his gloves on my body. And boy, I'm telling you the truth, after he beat me on my body for 2 or 3 rounds, I was sitting there, and I went back to my bunks, and I sat there, and I couldn't lift my right arm. He'd beat me on my ribs so hard, and they hurt so bad, I couldn't even lift my right arm. And I was sitting there thinking, well, well, old buddy, he's going to knock you out the next round because you can't even lift your right arm to defend yourself, and I can't hit him because I can't lift my arm. And I was sitting there thinking, well, ain't nothing to do but just walk out there and take your medicine, But of all, Lord of mercy, of all things, one of his seconds came over there, and he told me, he said, I don't remember this guy's name. He said, whatever this guy's name was, he said, he'll call this a draw if it's all right with you. And I don't know if you've ever been put in that position before in your life. I didn't want to, God, I wanted to jump up and say, oh man, yeah. But it was all I could do to sit there and try to act like a dignified person. Well, if he wants to do that, that'd be okay with me. Pardon me for laughing, but Lord God Almighty He was kind to me again, because if I'd have gotten up and walked out there, which I'd have done, Lord, I would have got myself slaughtered. Boy, he would have knocked me out. He might have killed me. I don't know. But evidently I'd have hurt him bad enough to where he didn't want to fight no more either. But see, I started that fight. I was the one that was going to whoop the devil out of him, and when it turned out, he whooped the devil out of me. First fight I ever lost. Well, really I didn't lose it in the way I did, because I was the one that started, so I should have been the one that called it, rather, been the one to decide when to quit, but still at the same time, I was so glad to get out of that. Lord, what was kind of funny about it, by the time, we were 2 Marines fighting, and by the time we got over to that boxing ring, there must have been 50 or 60 sailors showed up over. I don't know how word gets around so doggone fast on a base like that, but God, they were guys everywhere, I mean, they were out there hooping and hollering. I don't know who they were hollering for, me or him, or probably him, because I didn't know any of them, and he seemed to know all of them, they all seemed to know. I don't know what the world he was. How come they liked him, not me? I mean, he was a Marine. I thought all sailors hated Marines, but they all gang around him for some reason. I think I can't say for sure, but I think they had a boxing club or something on that base. I'm just guessing it's just now. I don't know for sure, but what would they have a boxing ring on a base like that for if they don't have a bunch of people that boxed, So I think he was boxing for the Marine Corps, and a bunch of them other swabbies were boxers too, and they all knew him, But anyway, I must have hurt him. I had to have hurt him because, he when he come over and said that sent his second over and told me that he was ready to quit. Oh my Lord, I thought to myself, God smiled on me again, Cause boy, if I'd have walked back out there, he'd have slaughtered me. Because I'm honest to God, I could not live. I didn't know. I'd always seen these prize fights where these boxers bang each other on the body. I didn't know that meant so much. Boy, Lord, let me tell you, that means a lot, because I couldn't lift my right arm. He was going to slaughter me, but I was going to walk out there and take it. But the good Lord had mercy on me. Well, I'll end this one.